eigentlich haben wir schon alles abgedeckt und wir würden jetzt mal anfangen, so ein bisschen tiefer reinzugehen. Und ich wechsle mal wieder ins Englische aus Höflichkeit, denn our next speaker is the founder of POAP Studios. What's POAP? He will explain that further in a second, but POAP basically means Proof of Attendance Protocol. I will not explain that because he will do that. He will explain that, and he will also explain how to get started in nascent Web3 spaces and via those POAPs, and how to build a coherent identity across all the planes in the Metaverse. And he also might have a little surprise in store for everyone. Please give a warm welcome to Lucas Verra.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing good. I'm glad to be here. And sorry for my German. I only know how to say Bia, danke. So it's pretty good, I guess. But so, yes, sorry about that. I will do my talk in English. Of course, feel free to interrupt me if you have questions. This is going to be dynamic. And yes, at the end, we'll have a little surprise. So the title of this exhibition is called Building a Cross-Platform ID in the different metaverses. So for the one of you that do not know what POAP is, POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol, and it's an NFT that event organizers, like in this conference, are giving to attendees. Super simple, super basic. It's a free NFT, free to collect. You can even start collecting without a wallet, which is great. And that's why people are super happy to have POAPs. I'm super happy to produce that kind of smiles every day in my job, and well, you will feel it in a couple of minutes. So, why do we start with fun? Because we see that in this ecosystem there's a lot of hate, a lot of fear. POAP is a great way to start because it's fun. As you can see, people enjoy smiling and sharing moments. Also, Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, is a great POAP fan. Why? Because POAP is one of the most beloved, used experiences that do not require any money. There's no financial incentives. It's all about collecting and sharing. No, you don't need to buy anything. You don't need to understand what gas fees are. It's super fun. And that's why it's also a tool for onboarding, as you can start without Ethereum, without Bitcoin, without a wallet, just with a moment, a smile, and maybe an email. In order to collect, we need to know where we send it. But that's why we can see at the DevCon conference in Colombia a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people, also youngsters, being engaged with this idea of collecting moments, right? And so an email address is all you need. Of course, you can go with we prefer if you do it with an Ethereum wallet, but you can start with an email. And so this is where we start talking about cross-metaverses. Why? Because, well, we have the chance to be one of the leading actor in this category, and so everyone wants to distribute POAP, because again, POAP is easy and it's fun. So we have POAP dispensers in the Decentraland, we have other dispensers in the new upcoming Spatial, we have also on the Sandbox, and what I also call, for me, it is a metaverse, it's real life. So here we are also in this metaverse today, and it also works in this ecosystem. Don't try to scan this one, it's already used, and it only works once. But what we're gonna talk today is how collecting distinct moment, being part of different moments in the metaverses, in real life, in sports, in fashion, allows you to start building some form of identity. And not what you can buy, like the arts, as you're defined as a collector, but where you've been or where you've been cognitively present to claim a POAP. So, just a couple of numbers. POAP has already 1 million wallets with POAP. Maybe this week we're minting the 6 millionth POAP from 3 million a year ago, so a plus 100% in a year. It's pretty great. And of course, the most forward-thinking brand, again, understand that POAP is fun, it's easy, and so we have a lot of discussions with a lot of brands because, well, it is the path forward, and it allows, I mean, this protocol allows to start the conversation on a clean and simple way, again, without financial incentive, what's the price for a collection, all of that, it disappears when you give and you collect POAPs. So now we're going to start talking about identity, right? Identity, what is identity? Some will define it as a passport or a name, a last name. In this Web3 world, remember that your wallet is supposedly not tied to your name, nor your picture, nor your email, and that works, meaning that whenever you see the list of POAP holders, you will see that there's many wallets that start with 0x or something that is completely unhuman. But it's when you start identifying the distinct POAPs and the distinct moment that you can start seeing who that person is, right? And so that's when you collect the moments and the interest, that proxy might become your identity. And even going a bit more further, what happens if I have 3 wallets, one for my nightlife, one for my professional life, and one for my sports life? And then how those can combine. And that's something that the industry has yet not understand. There's not a protocol for that. There's people talking about soulbone also, but soulbone is an idea, it's not a standard. So identity is messy in the real life. It's also messy in Web3, but at least here we have fun little badges that kind of express who you are as a proxy of interests. So again, the ideas of using POAP can be for any momento that is worth remember. Anything that is a historical moment can be a POAP, historically relevant. And what historically relevant means, no one really knows. But basically, if you care, and if the collectors would care, then most probably it's a good POAP momento. And so this is a list. We saw Metaverse's event, but also POAP stores, pop-up store, POAP stores, private dinners, like the one that we had with some of our colleagues here, or maybe a conference, maybe some slides at some moment. There might be a digital momento to remember. But yeah, everything that can be memorable can be a POAP. This is also what is what we tend to go for, that is the Web3 CRM, but again, CRM is a bit too industrial. I would say identity. What identity is, we all know, we will see. But basically, the Web2 identity, again, name, email, age, that's what we are giving to companies in order to give us services, right? When we register to Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, whatever, we have to leave all of that. When you create a wallet, if you do the good ones, meaning the Rainbows, the MetaMask, the Coinbase, etc., some of them won't ask you for anything. You have to download an app, sure, or you can do it on your computer, press a button, and you will get your private and public key that are your identifying. But no picture, no last name, no nothing. And whenever you can start collecting those moments, those aggregation of moments, the one that you aggregate or separate based on your moment in conferences or events, well, that kind of becomes your identity. And then with identity and with proof, brands can reward you or invite you or give you a benefit many years later because you have the proof that you've been cognitively present at some moment. So I'm going to show you some of the use cases that we've been working last year with brands. Like this is Christian Louboutin, which is a fashion luxury brand of shoes. At Fashion Week in Paris, also a couple of weeks ago in the Tour Eiffel, they made the classical fashion show, and then they would give a POAP for anyone seeing it online, but also to the people that were present, of course, a distinct POAP. And then on the presents, there was 2. One that was the first show of the day, and then, of course, the night show where Christian was there that deserved a more special POAP. Then we got, again, a pop-up store where Kenzo would want to benefit the people visiting this new store, this ephemeral store, by providing a digital badge of you visiting that space during those couple of weeks. And what will become that utility later, we don't know. It's up to the brand to tell it. But what we do know is that the collectors have collected that NFT, that POAP, and now it's written in time that they've been there, and then whomever can propose a story on that breadcrumbs that the brand is dropping in real life, in real life or in metaverses. In this case, also a fine dinner for Serpentine Gallery, inviting forward-thinking collectionists to participate in this dinner. And again, in this case, it was with a card, with a business card that has a unique QR code. It works only once. And so whomever wants to put that QR code online, then it doesn't work anymore because, you know, it wouldn't be a proof of attendance if anyone on the internet could have it, right? So again, another example for dinners. Also, so we got arts, we got fashion, we got music. You can, again, who remember here when they were younger, or maybe last week, when they go to a music show, in order to keep that moment forever, in general, what you do is keep the ticket, right? And the famous ticket stub that you would collect through the years, and you might lose at some moment when you move houses, right? At some moment you say, oh, I'm not that fan of that band anymore, or I don't have, I'm moving with another person, and that person doesn't like that band, so I will throw it up, or not. But in this case, that moment was kept forever in the blockchain as a POAP momento, and that's, again, what I want to build, the identity, right? You can be someone that collects moments for fashion, for music, for arts, and also someone that buys a product. We are also in this world, we also sometimes buy some products. In this case, Ledger was celebrating the buying of this new Ledger Nano S with the celebration and the first 10K people reserving and making delivery of that Ledger wallet, then they will receive on the card a unique QR code that would prove that they were one of the first 10K people reserving that new product, right? And those are use cases, distinct moments. But when it becomes a bit more real about identity is when you see this. So Ledger is, of course, a forward-thinking brand. It's also French. We like them a lot. They like us a lot. And we do a lot of pop-up with them. But then, as you can see, you can start differentiating moments, right? There is party events for the company and partners. Then there is booth conferences in Miami, Berlin, in New York, a VCon in, I don't know what that was central United States. And then again, product launches, where if you bought the new Nano, you get a POAP, and if you bought the deprecation of the old Nano, you would also get a POAP, and that's why it's a hand, because it's going, that Nano is going to die. And it's at that moment that you can start imagining what is an idea. I mean, of course, not everyone has all of those. But if you start seeing that, oh, he came to that party in April, and then he went to Berlin, and then he bought the deprecation Nano because it was cheaper, well, you get an idea of what that person could be. And hopefully this works, because this is a video. Let me see. Yes. Oh, I can even pause it. That's amazing. So what I wanted to show you is this is when it becomes ID. Because you will see that I will explore who went to that POAP, this one. And so I click on that POAP, and I can start seeing who is the list of the collectors of that POAP. You see, and again, those are the names, and then you start going the rabbit hole for that.tricks.eth, and you see that event in the event, and you can see who they are. And you see that they've been to a Vogue event, and then you can also start seeing who went to that Vogue event, and then you go down to David Cash, and you can see that David Cash has been a fan of Estée Lauder, and has been in Vogue, of course, in New York. He also was in the Biennale of Venice. So you can start imagining who that person is. Of course, I know David Cash, so I don't have to imagine who that person is, but you can. And well, that's how it becomes ID, right? And what do we have next? So now I will ask you to take your phones, because there is a surprise, and whomever, you know, the internet here, we are, I don't know, maybe 150 persons, so we gotta give some time to the Wi-Fi. But so what's going to happen is going to show you, I'm going to show you, of course, a QR code. There's going to be a POAP, a heaven POAP. And what will happen is that you will go to a website. If you have the app, it's going to work automatically. But you don't need to have the app, the POAP app. Just scan the QR code and then prepare or your Ethereum public address, your MetaMask address, Rainbow, whatever. And if you don't have it, that's OK. As we said earlier, POAP is also about onboarding. So if you don't have a wallet, like those person, you can just go with your email. What will happen? You will receive just one email, no follow-up, no marketing, just one email saying, congrats, you have reserved that POAP. Now follow the step in order to get a wallet. So take your phone and showtime. Oh, there you go. So don't worry, we'll have a couple of minutes. I have still 3 minutes here, and then a bit more because then it's the lunch break or breakfast break. But I want you to understand what is happening. Please don't share it. I mean, after 2 minutes after I'm gone, I'm gonna disable this website, right? But what is happening here is that we're sharing this momento together because you're here, you are aiming and you're claiming that moment, the heaven POAP, and then again you will put your public address, your Ethereum public address, or your email. It's okay, and only people being here today, not even the people being, I mean, not the people seeing the record in a couple of days. That won't work anymore because the POAP, the momento, is here together, us, right? And then it's gone, like any momento. Okay. So I don't know if you have still have, raise your hand if at least one of you got it. Okay. Network is complicated, but if not, you can also, of course, check with me later on. Look, I also wanted. But so try the 4G. I have disconnected from the Wi-Fi, and my 4G roaming is kind of working. So you can also try that. But if not, of course, I'm going to be all day here. So just tap on my shoulder, and I will give you the POAP. But again, remember, this is about sharing this moment together and living this moment. And only people being here today in front of this screen will have it. And of course, if you tap my shoulder later on. But that's about it. And then who knows? Maybe ADC in a couple of years would say, whomever has the heaven POAP will have, I don't know, a free beer or a free invitation to another conference, or maybe a token-gated group where only people having that POAP could discuss about subjects. We don't know. The metaverses, we don't know what it will be, but what we sure know is that we're here today, that you can claim the POAP, and that it's going to be written on the blockchain. It's up to you, ADC, the community, to build on top of that proof. Okay? So that's pretty much it. I think I will leave the QR code here for you to have more. And don't take pictures thinking that you can do it tomorrow or tonight. It works now, and 2 minutes from now, I'm going to zip it. A momento is a momento. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy your coffee, and thank you for listening to me.
I got it. It worked. I got it.
He got it.
I got it.
He got it.